favorite WrestleMania moments. It can be anything. One that I'll go first. One that instantly came to mind was WrestleMania 17. Obviously, one of the best WrestleManias of all time, in my opinion, a lot of people's opinion, consensus. But one of the funniest matches on there were Big Show and Kane and Raven for the Hardcore title match. I just remember how wild that match was, and Raven being the comedy guy, like getting ran over with the cart, getting thrown through the glass, like they're going through the walls in the back. Like that whole match, Kane jumping off the stage. Like I just remember how crazy that match was, how entertaining that match was. Epic match. What are some WrestleMania moments you guys think of when WrestleMania comes to mind?
All right, so my favorite WrestleMania match, I always have to watch it back around this time of year. It was WrestleMania 21, Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle. Because if you remember during our very first episode, I said I had Kurt Angle in my top 10 all time, and I feel like he doesn't get his just due. And this match is one of the reasons why. I mean, if you look at the psychology, the beginning of the match, you have Shawn Michaels kind of using like Kurt Angle's kind of, mat wrestling techniques and such, kind of take Kurt out of his game. You got the angle slam off the top rope, the angle slam into the ring post. You're never gonna get a poor performance from Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. I mean, if you look at his last probably like maybe 4 out of 5 WrestleMania matches, all of them are arguably match of the year for that year. So that's one. Another match or moment. Zack Ryder winning the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 32.
Why?
Because I remember because I was watching that at my friend's house, and we had all predicted that we both predicted that Kevin Owens was going to retain. And when we saw it happen, the first thing that came to our mind was, let's stop with the predictions. Let's just sit down and just enjoy it. If that just happened, then the rest of the show,
we don't know nothing.
Nothing.
I did not see. That's the one time when WWE got me. I did not see that coming.
That's funny.
And it was a great moment too.
Crazy.
His father coming into the ring, trying to put the cowboy hat on his head. Shit off my head.
It was funny. It was epic. It was epic just for him, especially building himself up how he did on the internet and stuff like that. To get that moment, it went downhill after that, but he had that moment at least.
Right after that.
Literally.
I will never understand that decision. This man lost the next fucking day. That is, if that's not a slap in the face, I don't know what is.
They killed him with that one.
I'm terrible with WrestleMania numbers. I just remember matches. Definitely the Kurt and Brock Lesnar match was definitely a great. That was definitely a good one. I also do love the match with I don't know. I think it's the second one. I don't know if it was back-to-back WrestleManias. Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, where Undertaker almost fucking dies diving.
Oh yes,
and he crashes into the fucking and he crashes into fucking cameraman. I'm like, yo,
Lewis, before you continue, can we all agree that that's the greatest WrestleMania match of all time?
I would say so.
I think
it's up there. It's top 3. It's top 3. That's
it's up there. Yeah. It's hard. Like to have those two guys at the top of their games like that, like how epic was, especially with Shawn Michaels going on his way out.
And you know what? Now that you were just talking about it, Brian, I actually do want to go back and just rewatch some WrestleManias. I want to rewatch the Rock and Stone Cold matches because I feel like those were just fucking. At least from remembering what I can, I want to actually like watch like both of those like back to back because I just felt like that feud was just like there's nothing like that feud.
WrestleMania 17. Like at that point, before the Undertaker Shawn Michaels, I was like, that's the best match in terms of two guys who are at the top of that height. The stakes on the line there, the heel turn that we didn't see coming. Like, even though people say they didn't like the heel turn at that moment when it happened, no one could believe that.
Was it the heel turn of Stone Cold or The Rock?
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
Was that when he the whole WCW thing?
Yeah, that's when that was like the birth of the invasion, basically.
Yeah, it led into that.
Yeah, led into that. So like that match, like that's that I like just the stakes, the everything at that type of them that like that match, like The Rock was always losing to Stone Cold and stuff like that. It's like to have that type of match like that at that height, that magnitude, like it was crazy.
Also, I think these two kind of coincide, but I do love I don't know if it's 30 when Daniel Bryan won in New Orleans.
That is 30.
That WrestleMania was because I probably watched all of that Daniel Bryan movement rise, and that was a huge fucking payoff. And I was like, dude, they've done him dirty so many. And then with Triple H, you're never gonna be champion, all of that. I thought that was a great year of storytelling, and him finally getting that. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Brian?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say the same night that the streak ended. I literally thought the referee messed up the count. I literally thought the referee accidentally hit 3, and that Undertaker was supposed to kick out. I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. But then when they started cutting to the crowd, I was like, nah, that was supposed to happen. Oh shit!
Like, nah, man, that's never gonna sit right with anybody.
That's always gonna hurt.
That's up there. That's up there with that and like Booker T losing to Triple H at 19. Like, that's never gonna sit right.
I was just about to bring that up.
That will never sit with that. That's one of my worst WrestleMania moments. Like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
That still doesn't sit with me.
And the fact that person in the stands is like Black forever dude, a meme. It's just like that is the essence of what that WrestleMania felt like, and it's just like, and lastly, I'm gonna say just because it's more recent and I felt it was very fucking impactful was definitely Kofi Mania. Kofi Mania was like, I fucking loved Kofi Mania. I was like. Because it was just, I don't know. I've always had this thing where it's just like, yes, you have your top stars, but it's just like, yo, it's not wrong to go with somebody who you don't think is the top guy, and then you see what they can do and see how people react to them.
Exactly.
With all the work, I feel like 2 years or a few years prior, you would never say, yo, in 2 years, Kofi's going to be fucking champion.
Exactly.
Like, what are you talking about?
It shows that the times that they listen to the crowd and they go with the person who's getting the more organic reaction. It shows what can come out of that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, it's unfortunate that he dropped it 6 months later in a squash match against Brock Lesnar, but that moment with Kofi Mania, Vince actually playing his part, saying, "Yo, you're not ready. You're not at this level." That was perfect because it's like, yo, Kofi was never seen as that. Like, he's a tag team guy. He's a mid-card guy. He's been a workhorse for you guys for like 10 years. He's not going to get that opportunity. So to see him finally get that opportunity, the showing he had in the Elimination Chamber and all that, like how that came about, for that to finally happen, it's like, damn, like, we finally did it. Like, You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my God. Like, that was like a feel-good moment. And Daniel Bryan having his heel gimmick, at that time, like for him to put Kofi over like that,
the Earth's champ,
the plant champ, like no one could believe that, like that actually happened. But it's like,
bro, I actually really liked the heel Daniel Bryan, the whole eco title,
the planet's champion,
Captain Planet. No, it actually gave Eric Rowan like some type of like heel factor, like you know what I mean. That helped him out as well too before the stupid spider gimmick. But it's like all that stuff there. Like I was just one of my favorite manias, of course, WrestleMania 14. Austin winning the title against HBK, all that, Mike Tyson coming in. It was in Boston. It was on my birthday. Like I remember like it was yesterday. I just watched it a couple days ago. It's like that Mania, it's not like the best Mania, but it's like everything was solid. Like that's where we first saw Undertaker and Kane first each other. And that matchup, like we had that. Ken Shamrock finally overthrew The Rock. Triple H versus Owen Hart, like all this stuff that I'm watching, I'm like, oh snap! I don't remember. Like this is crazy. Like just like in Boston, like it was in Boston. Like WrestleMania was in Boston, like right in our city. So like just to think about WrestleMania 14, Also, of course, you're watching old WrestleManias. You got Ricky Dragon and Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3. That whole storyline with Ricky Steamboat basically getting hurt, his neck injured, all that coming back. That match was flawless. Like you think about all the old matches there, like WrestleMania 10, Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, like that. The inception of that ladder match, that impact like that. Like you also have like the worst WrestleMania. Like even though this is our favorite moment, we can't leave it without talking about TLC. The Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys at WrestleMania 16. Was that the first one?
Yeah, the first one. The first one was 16.
So to have that type of matchup, and then 17, they did it again. It's like, like all of that, like just to have those type of matches there, and it's like that inception.
Did Edge and Christian win both of those?
They won all of them.
They won all of them. They won all of them.
That's the darkest thing about that. That's the darkest thing about that. It's like they won all of those matches. It's
all
like, yo.
of them. You thinking like, yo, these guys had almost made. They started TLC. They started ladder matches. It was like, all right. So they must have had like an equal. Edge and Christian won everything. I used to get so mad when Edge and Christian won everything. I'd be like, why?
All right. So this one, so the one match that I'm thinking about kind of came from WrestleMania 36. It was the COVID WrestleMania that was at the Performance Center. But that boneyard match that they did between AJ Styles and The Undertaker, I mean, it was perfectly done. The production was great. You definitely, if they actually had the actual match, it definitely wouldn't have been as good as what the boneyard match did. It was the perfect send-off for the Undertaker.
Facts.
To combine the Dead Man, to combine the American Badass character, to combine some elements of the actual Mark Calloway himself, to combine all that into one final presentations cinema match. That was the perfect send off for the Undertaker.
And that's the best cinema match.
WrestleMania.
There's no other cinema match that's worth it, in my opinion. Like that's the one that's like they should never do any again. Like that's the send off. That's the Mona Lisa.
Bray and Randy one. Oh my god.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Bray Wyatt hasn't even been mentioned on this podcast until he won't mention with the schism, but we don't need to be talking about Bray Wyatt right now.
Terrible.
Oh my god, WrestleMania 33. Oh man. What's another match? The Money in the Bank match came to mind. Like the inception and how crazy those early inception matches were with the Money in the Bank. Like dudes crashing through ladders, like dying. Like if you go back and watch those earlier matches when they were at WrestleMania, dudes were getting jacked.
Yes, WrestleMania 24, Shelton Benjamin. What happened to Shelton Benjamin at WrestleMania 24? I really do think this dude was dead. Like
all those matches like
through the ladder. I'm like, my god.
Like I gotta watch these again. Like those like Money in the Bank matches, Shelton Benjamin doing all those crazy moves. Fit Finlay getting hit off for ladders. Ric Flair falling, coming back to the match. I think it was the first one. I think Ric Flair coming back to the match.
Ric Flair falling off a ladder was like,
like, dog, what are you doing? Like, you shouldn't even be out there. Like, even at that time, Ric Flair shouldn't have been out there, but he was out there. Like, think about those early inception Money in the Bank matches, like how much like the stakes were on the line, all that stuff. Like, Ken Kennedy doing the flip, the Green Bay plunge with Hornswoggle, crashing him like off the ladder. Like
I was actually watching that earlier today.
Go back and watch those matches, like those early matches before it became a regular pay-per-view and lost the luster of it. At WrestleMania, those matches mattered. They were all hard hitting. They were all mattered. Like those are the two things: TLC, Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. Like those were something that were created from that. So just thinking about those WrestleMania moments, trying to think about other ones. But those are a couple that come to mind. WrestleMania 17 is probably, people say 19's up there as well, but I go with 17. The crowd reaction, the type of matches, like every match hit. Like you didn't have a bad match at WrestleMania. Like that seems far and few between now. Where you have some stinkers at WrestleMania, it's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
During those years, perfect. Like It didn't matter. Like you could have anything on those WrestleManias, and it was going to be entertaining. It was going to be.
You know what pissed me off though? I'm just thinking of something that angered me.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 29 that was in Jersey, where they had Cena versus Rock 2. After last year, they built it as once in a lifetime, and then we come back the next year, and the match quality so much dropped off from the year prior.
It's funny because it's like
whoever finish your last wins.
They spent all year building Cena for that. That was a year like after he lost the first one, they built John Cena's whole year around that whole storyline, and it's like, why did they do that?
Didn't Rock get hurt in the second one or something like that, or was it the first one?
I think it was the second one. I
heard him talking about it recently. He went to do something. He was like, I just popped something or quad or whatever.
He doesn't wrestle. He doesn't wrestle. He doesn't wrestle.
That's probably why he doesn't want to come back. He's like, yo, I'm not getting hurt again.
Movie studios don't want him to come back.
They're like, yo. Tear that Achilles.
At WrestleMania in Jersey, that's the Undertaker CM Punk match where it's like they stole the show. Like CM Punk really cemented himself. Like, yo, I'm the fucking best wrestler here. Like, like I just had a match with the Dead Man and had stakes and had everybody glued to us. Like it's not Rock versus Cena. Like, regardless of what you guys think, I'm still that guy. And then he dropped the title of Rock at Royal Rumble. That's what that was. He dropped the title, right?
To The Rock.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. At Royal Rumble, he followed because CM Punk was trying to position himself to be in that match at WrestleMania. Like, yo, I want to main event WrestleMania with the champion.
He did because that same Royal Rumble, John Cena had won it. So John Cena won the Rumble, and then Rock won the title in the same night, and then everybody knew where they were going, and it was like, what the fuck is this?
And the worst part about that is that he won with the people's elbow. That was the worst part. He didn't win it with the rock bottom. He won with the people's elbow. And I'm like, you guys are killing, man.
People's elbow is beating a lot of legends, though. Just saying, people's elbow is beating a lot of legends, though.
Oh my goodness. The people's elbow or Logan Paul's right hand?
Only Seth Rollins.
It has knocked out former world champion.
This dude, and just because the elbow looked entertaining, this dude was literally just spine bustering people, giving them a simple elbow drop and winning matches. But then again, Hulk Hogan had the leg drop.
Like Randy Savage, just
he was Goku. He was Goku getting all the energy from the people.
Nah, but WrestleMania, man, I can't wait for it. Some of our favorite WrestleMania moments. Of course, Bobby the Brain Heenan on the microphone. If you go back and listen to those old ones, like he's great on that. I say go back and listen to WrestleMania 8, where it's Ric Flair versus Randy Savage. Bobby the Brain Heenan is just a mess during that one. Like he's hilarious. Like he's hilarious.
He's hilarious that whole year with Ric Flair.
Yep. If you go back and watch the '92 Royal Rumble,
take a walk. First.
Some of the best stuff, like if you listen to Bobby Brain Heenan during those times, like he's great. But yeah, WrestleMania is just awesome. Like WrestleMania, can't wait. It looks like we have a stacked card. Hopefully, it's as entertaining as we want it to be. Hopefully, even the matches that we don't expect a lot from are entertaining and actually showcase some of these people that are on the card, especially in those showcase matches. Maybe they'll surprise us. WrestleMania is a 4-hour show. Maybe they let them go. We'll see what happens.
Maybe the women's tag division finally blooms.
Something has to come from those showcase matches. Like something big has to.
How about we start with like matching ring gear?
Hey, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at least have that. And then we'll see what happens with that with WrestleMania. Of course, on Saturday and Sunday, we're finally here. We're going to get the Battle Royal on Friday night, I believe. They're going to be doing it on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll pick it up next week with our WrestleMania Fallout, especially after the Raw Fallout, which is going to be epic. We know how that is every year where something big always happens. So we're probably going to get the reset of WWE right now. Potentially, I'm thinking maybe. I don't know if they're ever going to go back to the brand split, but if this is ever a time to do it, it's right now. You have enough people to do it. You have enough people to carry multiple titles, pathways. You have it. So hopefully we can get a reset there, and we'll see what happens next week. It's going to be entertaining weekend of wrestling. Stand and Deliver is at 1 p.m. on Saturday. A lot of matches there. Might see some call-ups. Might see some changeover down there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. But we're going to wrap this one. And I'll see you guys next week after it all happens.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right. You guys have a good one.